Hi, I'm Mimi McClellan, and welcome to Craft Time. We have a really good show tonight. We're going to be talking about scrapbooking, and my guest is Lynette Howe. Hi, Lynette.
Hi, Mimi.
And for you that don't know what scrapbooking is, it's a sort of a combination of an album and a scrapbook and your memorabilia and all sorts of stuff, and all put together. And Lynette's going to teach us how to do this, but I want to mention right now that this is going to be a two-part series, and the first part I'm just going to learn because I know nothing about it, and I'm really excited. It's something that's been coming from the West Coast, and it's moving its way slowly to the East Coast. We're a little bit slow on picking up on these things, but it's going to be a real hot thing. And so we're going to do the beginner class tonight, and then in 2 weeks we'll be doing the advanced things, showing what really neat things you can do. And at the very end, in May, we're going to have a community workshop. So anybody, you know, save your roll of film, come in, and Lynette's going to teach everything. She's going to have all the supplies and everything you need. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. So Lynette, show us what to do.
They've panned in on the first of a couple of pages in the scrapbook, but I'm going to turn it around because we have a overhead thing here. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about scrapbooks and, like Mimi said, what they are. The scrapbooking that we do is mainly photographs, memorabilia, things that you can put flat in a book. And there's some very important things that you need to know about that. Be careful what you put them in. Don't use magnetic paged photo albums, please. I went to a photographer place today, and I talked to the guy about it, and I said, what do I do when people say, well, it says it's safe to use the magnetic page scrapbooks? And he says, tell them not to believe it. It will, the pages themselves will discolor, and it will, over age, it will discolor the pictures, and they'll start to fade and yellow faster than normal. A lot of photographs go yellow with age anyway, because, say, 20, 25 years ago, the developing process was not as refined as it is now, but you can do things to prevent it from doing it as quickly.
So the most important thing you want to stress is to get these acid-free.
You want to use good quality paper. Construction paper is out of the picture. And then I've used these plastic pages, and they're called sheet protectors. You can get them a variety of places. Make sure you get the ones that right on the package it will say archival safe. This is the word they're using for everything: archival safe, acid free. A lot of the old papers, like the construction paper, has a lot of acid in it. It deteriorates. Newsprint has acid in it. It deteriorates very badly. It goes yellow. It fades.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, it fades. It does a lot of things that...
but that won't help it even if you put it in here, though. Your newspaper
no, the newsprint, no.
Still go yellow.
What I suggest to people to do, if they have a newsprint article that they want to save, take it down and photocopy it, and then put the photocopied thing in. Well, I've got one right here of my daughter. When she came home from California, they had a little thing in the Pembroke Reporter about it, and I've got to take this down. I just cut it out and put it in here, and I realize now I've got to take this down and photocopy it, or even 4 or 5 years from now, this is going to be very, very yellow and hard to read. I have some in another book that I can show you just exactly what I'm talking about. Can you just slide that one out of the way for us? I've got some very, very old things, and when I talk about scrapbooks, I'm talking about other things besides photographs. I'm talking about things like...
There's some old...
This is a marriage certificate of my husband's great-grandmother, and the date is... Where do we find the date? 1870.
Oh,
this is the original marriage certificate my mother-in-law gave me. This is something I don't want to get ruined. I've got it in a good quality piece of paper. It's mounted on here with what they call mounting squares. You can get these at a lot of different places, which I'll talk about later. And then it's put in this archival safe protector sheet so that it won't get ruined. I've got 2 pages out of a family Bible, and they were literally folded in half, and so we very carefully separated it to put it on the 2 pages. But the thing is, look here, see these old pages?
Yep.
They have really yellowed. They've really yellowed. And so to keep that from happening, you want to photocopy your newspaper article and then use that in your scrapbook, and then you won't have the problem of the pages yellowing. I just want to show you, we've got the camera here, some ideas for things to do with things that aren't normal, like photographs. This is a record of birth from the Jordan Hospital of my son, and I thought, how am I going to do this, because there's a back to this. So I took it down, photocopied the back, and then I taped that on the back of the page. I wanted the gold seal and everything on this, so this is only a photocopy with his feet on the back, so I've got it on a back-to-back page. So there's lots of things you can do like that. And if he'll, just different things that you can do. We've done lots of fun things. Halloween, birthdays, Christmas. We went to watch school. We went to watch the circus be put up in Duxbury. Now this looks like a very interesting page, to say the least, but let me show you.
It's got stickers. You put stickers on it.
It came, that one page came from this many photographs. I've got 1, 2, these are the double prints, 3, 4 photographs. And can you see what I did? I cut them out, literally. Yep. I used this one for the top. Then I cut the people out of this one. Right here, I cut them out, put that one, and then I layered them on so I had a whole page. Then I used circus stickers to put on it and a little bit of marker around just to decorate it.
And then you wrote some stuff. That's very important too.
Absolutely. I wrote about what the event was and who was there. Some of the pages I've generated on my computer, like this one with the school page. And if you have different programs that you have on your computer, you can do that. And some I've done by hand. It's just a matter of what you have access to, how you want to do it. And then some are just pages like this one. This is my daughter's first letter from Santa Claus in 1973. She's 25. But this is something that came to her, and I found it one day, and I thought, oh, she's going to want this to be kept. So I put it, you know, the envelope was just as cute as the letter, so I put it together as part of the thing. And pages like this one, I have generated this on my computer, but you can do the same thing just by cutting the pictures out, and we're going to show a little bit about that. But I want to talk about the basic supplies that you need to have and some of the things that you can do.
Now when we do this workshop, you're going to bring your box.
Yep.
Wait till you see her box of goodies, everybody. You want to put that up, and we'll show you the box.
You want me to show you the box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can get it up here. Let's see. I'll have to stand up to show you. This is a fishing tackle box.
Very cleverly retrofitted.
Well, let me show you how it opens. The top opens, and I've got all my cutting stuff. I've got all my scissors. This little thing even makes perforated, not perforated, like waffle type paper. Got all my scissors, some of my rulers in the top. And then the bottom pops out, and these drawers come out. Now what I've done, I had a little bit of help. We took a very heavy-duty utility knife, and we cut. It has columns, and then you put little dividers in for your fishing tackle stuff. We literally cut those out with fishing, and then cut them on the bottom so that I had places. This is for all my markers that I have. Now see these little things that come out to divide the drawers, and so you can make them just about any size you want. I'll put that down there. So this is the drawer for my markers and my rulers. This is the drawer for my colored pencils, pencil sharpener. These are my permanent calligraphy markers. We don't use those on photographs. That's emergency only. Little stencils that I've had that I had needed some place to put them. Then this drawer, I've got a lot here, but when I've done workshops, we've used it. This is the kind of glue we use, which I'll talk about. It's glue stick. Got a utility knife here, and the photo mounts and the photo tape to mount your pictures with. I've got room to grow here. And this is all the paper punches I have. There's big ones, there's little ones, there's hand paper punches.
Stars.
Just all kinds of fun ones. So I have a place to put all of this stuff, and then I can just pop it all together and take it with me, and then I've got everything I need. Whoops.
You better lock it up.
Got to lock it up or it won't move. Okay. So when you start out, you need to have an album. Starting out, you can actually just use a good loose leaf. I found some scrapbooks of this type. The only thing you have to remember is you got to watch that they're a little bit wider than some of the pages, because these plastic pages have an extension on them. So you have to
so you don't want it sticking out too far.
So you don't want it sticking out too far, because it's the 8.5 by 11 paper, but it also has this little extension right here that so you want to make sure. So you need a book to put them in. You need the plastic protector pages. And it's a good thing if you can get a supply of what I call cardstock instead of just paper. Now, reason being, this particular book was made without the cardstock. And can you see the difference in turning these pages here and this one? And see how the page will flip over and the page will get bent very accidentally, because this one doesn't have the cardstock in it, which I've got to have my son do.
So would you put the cardstock in between the pages?
Yes.
Just to, okay.
And that way, as you're building your scrapbook, you put everything on one page that you want. You don't put anything on the back of the page. Then, as you're building your scrapbook, you can change the order of things. Like, I have so many packages of film that have been developed that I have not mounted, that I just do them as I can, so I can rearrange the order of my pages.
Yeah.
If I only have them on one side.
She told me two things in the beginning. She said, first of all, get your roll of film.
Yep.
Go through it. Throw half of them away.
You got to write down on that
down,
envelope, when you bring it home from the Photoshop, write down on that envelope what is in the package. Because so many times you get things developed and, oh, I'm going to put these in an album, or I'm going to do something with them, and you don't. They get stuck in a drawer.
And then they get mixed up with other things.
And then you don't know what was in there, or you look at the picture and say, oh, this was such and such. I wonder when it was taken.
Yeah.
So you need to put what it is and when they were taken. If you have time, sit down with your photographs and use a permanent marker. Pilot has what they call a photographic marker.
Now that won't bleed through the picture?
It will not bleed through the picture. Do not use ballpoint pen. You can buy these at most places. I've seen them like at Paperama, a lot of places. They're just in with the pens and stuff, and it says photographic marker. It is a permanent marker. You don't want to use ballpoint pen. I don't even let ballpoint pen come near any of my stuff here. It will bleed. It will bleed if you don't have a good quality photograph. It will bleed right through the photograph onto the other side. If anything gets damp, the ink will run. So you want to use, but it's a really good rule of thumb, and I know my mother tries to do this all the time with all of her grandchildren that they take pictures of. She comes home with the film, sits down and writes down on the back of the photographs who's in the photograph and when it was and where it was taken. And I hadn't thought of that. Sometimes you need to know where a picture has been taken. So
also, the other thing I wanted to bring out is that you said, no, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, just don't start with day one.
No.
Just start with the latest group of pictures you've taken, and then when you finish those, you can work back and get them organized.
Mimi and her husband have to sit down and do the last batch of pictures they just had taken.
We just came back from Hawaii.
So everything is fresh in their mind and do it.
8 rolls of film that I have to
go
through.
I've told people when they come to a workshop, bring one package of film. We'll sit down, go through the pictures, and decide which ones would be good to put in a page. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let me show you an example of that. Mimi knows of what you can do. Okay, now here is a picture of a wedding. And one of the best things about not being afraid to do things is not being afraid to cut your pictures. As you see, I cut them into balloon shapes. I cut them into all kinds of shapes.
Well, most everybody gets double.
Yeah,
double
it's a
prints
really good
anyway,
idea to get double prints. There's so many places that you can get things developed that you can get double prints. Just you don't even have to pay that much extra. Then if you do ruin one, you've got another one. And if it's a very special one, you can get another one done. You've got the negative.
Right.
You know, you've got the negative. Like this one, my son took most of these pictures at a wedding, and it's really a little bit off-centered. So what am I going to do? I am going to take and cut the side off. But
okay, now you're doing this before you're figuring out any
well,
placement?
I can look. I don't really place them. I sometimes just cut them into how I want them. And what I do a lot of times is I use a template.
Okay.
And like if I wanted these all cut in ovals, maybe I don't want everything in the picture. Like this one, the minister just happens to be my husband. And the groom waiting for the bride. I can put that over. Maybe I just want that much of the picture. Don't worry about all that background. All you want to focus on is who's in the picture and what you've got. This is a beautiful garden, but really for this picture, that's all I want to focus on. Then I would take my permanent marker or a China marker. Are you familiar with that?
No.
You can get them at Gallery too. I know you can get them some art supply places. It's kind of a grease pencil.
Okay.
And you can mark around, and then when you're through, if you've left any of the mark, you can take a tissue and it'll rub off.
Wipe off. Okay.
If you use a permanent marker, you have to be careful to
cut it off.
Cut it off.
Okay.
And so you would mark around this and do it. But what I want to show you what happens when you do that is these, I didn't even use the oval. I used I'm going to take this out because this one's kind of tight. I used, and we're going to tell them what this is too.
I know. This is the best part of the whole thing.
I used a pair of scissors, a decorative pair of scissors, and I just cut the corners. So I'm going to show them that so they can see. Okay, Mimi, pick out a pair of...
These are good?
Whatever. It shows the design on the side of the scissors.
Oh, I like the scallops.
Let's do the scallops. Okay, now because I've already done this. Some people like to cut out the whole picture. Some people like to just cut part of it out. As you can see on these, I cut out the corners and I left the sides and the top and the bottom straight. And then I put it on another color and did the same thing and put it on another color and did the same thing.
That's how you got this like double border.
Okay, so what I did
fancy.
was I cut here and here. I just cut the corners off. And then...
And you're just eyeballing this all in here. You're not measuring.
I try and eyeball it a little bit. This paper is a little bit bright, but I didn't bring any. Told me to stay away from white, which... So then, here's where the photo mount corner things come in. Now this sounds kind of strange, but use either the photo mounts or the glue stick, but remember the glue stick is permanent. This is made by Avery. They sell it CVS, any place, and it says permanent glue stick on it.
Could you use the
one that turns color?
No, I was thinking the one that makes like tacket notes.
No, because that has a different. It has a different kind of glue in it, and it will deteriorate the paper over time.
All right, so this is your acid-free archival.
Right. Stick. So you can use the glue stick if you want. I tend to use the mounts, and what they are they're little. They just come off like this, and I usually only put like 2 on a page, and then you take this, push it down, you take this off, it becomes a double stick thing. But as you will notice on the page, this is for photographs. The glue won't bleed through, it won't deteriorate anything, it's very good for your picture. So I'm going to put it right up here, kind of, so I don't have to cut these sides here.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll take my scissors and come and cut And I eyeball it. If you're really worried about not being able to do that, draw a line with a ruler with a pencil. And then if you can't eyeball it as good, you've got that for your line. But I've done it so much that
I suppose you could practice on.
oh yeah, yeah. Now I'll go back. Where are the scissors that we used? Which ones did we use?
I don't remember. I think those.
These? Okay. All right, now I have to go back and match. Turn it over so it will match. And see how I'm going to match? Right there, I'm going to match to cut it so that it has the same design. If I put it against the, if I put it here against the white, then you can see that I've got the same design again.
I see.
I just kind of match up the where I've cut, and you can do it once or twice or 3 times. I had such a hard time finding this color because these were Mari's colors for her wedding, and I could not find this color in paper. I went to Paperama and bought one of those colored shopping bags that was wine colored to do it. But the neat thing I want to show you is these are not the originals. These are color copies that I went to a place.
This is so neat because once you've done your whole page, then you just bring your page to the color copy place, copy the page, and then you've got the album. You can put a whole album together for
what I
the
did.
mod. Well,
I did this for the bride because these are the pictures we took. Of course, she had professional pictures, but I had done this, and since my husband had married them, the marriage part of the marriage ceremony we had done on the computer, and he had had it typed out, so we did that. So we wanted to give it to him as kind of a little gift for her bride's book, and I had pictures we'd taken at the wedding. So I gave her the original, and then I made color copies for me to have. And I do that with pictures that I take of pages I do of my kids. I can do a color copy and then send that to my mom, and then she can put that in her scrapbook. And they range, you have to be careful where you go. I know they range in price. You can get them for about $1, but when you start talking about having 3 pictures reprinted, and the time and everything of doing that for $1, it's not that bad.
Yeah, you get the whole page.
Yeah, you got the whole page. And this was a card that I had. This, let me just close this up so we don't have. This is what I wanted to show you of the things that you can use. Years and years ago, when my grandmother, before my grandmother died, she had tons and tons of cards that were given to her because she had been very sick for a long time. And after she died, I asked my mother, can I have the cards? And I was like 14 at the time. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Finally finding
I took all the greeting cards and I cut out all the flowers, all the things that could make any kind of a frame. Now see, this is one that you can do. And it's just this, I've just got it tacked in here, but you could do it either way. You could put it that way, or you could very carefully put it inside from the other way.
Underneath.
Like this one. Let's see what we can do here. See, I could use that as a frame for the picture. And it's just a greeting card. I have even gone so far as to go to the card shop and buy it just for this. But there's stationery and stuff you can buy. Most of the stuff I found around here that's available is half sheet, what they call a half sheet. But you can use this, and you don't have to cut it out. You can trim your picture to fit
in there.
To fit in this or this.
Can you use wrapping paper or?
The only thing you have to be careful, because a lot of wrapping paper is not very good quality paper, and you're running into the fact that it would deteriorate, that it might not be acid free or buffered. Most paper that is printed like this, or good quality cards and things that you buy now, are made of better quality paper. But if you start getting into wrapping paper, it's lots of times a very cheap quality paper. So I would kind of steer away from that. But see, just the different, this is a little Daisy Kingdom. No, this is Lucy. Lucy and Me, the Bears. This is some of their stationery. And see, this could be really cute. You could either cut your picture, or you could literally take an X-Acto knife and cut out around this and put it over top of the picture to use if you had a real special picture. And I've kept some of these. This I thought was really fun because of the way the butterflies go. You could literally just take this off and use this for something else and then put the butterflies down the side of a picture.
Yeah. Or even like on some of where you just, oh, I can't see one now, but you've just added butterflies. You can cut out the butterflies.
Just cut out the butterflies.
Put them
and see,
flying
that's what
over
I
the
had. I
page.
had this great big huge envelope full of flowers and butterflies and all kinds of stuff that I sat one summer, and that's after my grandmother died. It was kind of my way of dealing with things, and I literally cut out these tons of cards, and then I had this box of flowers and things that I could use to put in my scrapbook, which is a whole other set of scrapbooks, which I now have to go through and change a lot because some of the paper is not good quality and the plastic wasn't as good quality. So,
but it's never too late.
That's
you can
right.
Start
you
over,
start working on
and
it.
If
you start
decide
working
you don't
on
like what
that's
you have,
right. That's
change
right.
it.
So, but the one thing that I want to stress is make sure that you use plastic pages that are good quality. I prefer the non-glare. They come in lightweight, heavyweight, crystal clear, and non-glare. I prefer the heavyweight non-glare. They're a little bit heavier, so they don't wrinkle, and then the non-glare, it's just the crystal clear ones kind of scratch after a while, so you have to be careful of that. So you want to have mounting tape, which you can get at Michael's is about the best overall supplier of scrapbook stuff right now in Quincy, Michael's Craft Supply. You can get the mounting tape at Gallery 2. You can get it at Ben Franklin. They have some scrapbook supplies there.
Okay, and when we do our workshop in May, we're going to let you know exactly when that's going to be. We'll put up a page, and you'll have a lot of this supplies.
Yes, I'll have all the scissors, all the cutters, everything for you to use that night, all the paper punches. You don't have to bring any of that. You can use all those things and bring your pictures.
So they mostly just need to bring an album and their pictures.
Yeah.
And a friend.
And if there's things, I'll have a little starter kit if they don't have anything that for a nominal fee that they can buy to get started with cardstock and some different things.
And this has really gotten, in a lot of places, gotten to be almost like a community thing where people bring friends.
There's stores
and they
out
make,
there.
And they make friends because you're working with your pictures and you're talking to the girl
You
next to
get so
you.
many ideas looking at other people's books that oh, I want to do that, or oh, that's a good idea, that makes me think of something. Yeah. So it's very contagious.
I bet it is. It seems like it can go on and on endlessly. So
let's see. I was trying to think.
Any last little?
Well, like the scissors. Do you want me? I can just tell you some of the places you can get these things.
Well, we'll do that in the next on the next segment. I think what we want to do is just let you know that we're doing this workshop, and we hope that you'll come down and join us. And this is the first part. We're going to do another series, and we're going to get into some a little bit more advanced, but we just wanted to let you know what it was all about, give you a taste for how to start.
And there's lots of different kinds of scrapbooks. This particular one is my son's senior scrapbook that he had to do for his senior English class. He's going to put it in a spiral notebook and just tape the pictures in, and I said, oh no, you are not. So I sat down with him and showed him how to do it, and he ended up doing a wonderful job using the Silver Lake colors, red and white. And some things he wrote, some things he did on the computer, and it was his whole year as a senior, from the time the seniors left till he graduated. And he looks back on it, he got an A on it, by the way. He looks back on it as he is so glad that he did this because he has this now to keep forever. Okay. So that's something you need to think about.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And I hope you all tune in next time, and we'll show you some more. We'll get into advanced stuff.
We'll make some pages.
Until next time, keep crafting.